Welcome to the Love Laura podcast. Join us for all things fashion, fun, girls' chats, and all the behind the scenes. This is what you will not see on socials. This is getting right behind the brand. Welcome to the first ever Love Laura podcast. Holly, I'm with Holly. Holly's on the sofa for those of you who can't see us. And we have Carly in the background, our producer. Sounds very fancy, doesn't it?
I'm not sure that she was willing to be the producer, but she is now.
We've roped her in. She's a great one.
I'm so excited.
This actually was one of my 2025 goals, and I can't believe that we're not even 6 months in. We've started it.
Nailed it halfway to Christmas, and here we are.
So let's see where this goes. Maybe it won't go anywhere, but we really want to kind of take you on the behind the scenes of Love Laura and just have the girls chat.
Yeah, we've always said we wanted, our community is great. We would want a big girls group chat. So this is pretty much it, isn't it?
This is like you bugging our Walk-in Wardrobe HQ. You're going to get it all.
I'm not sure that you're going to want it all, but you're going to get it all.
So Carly's really here to make sure that we don't swear.
PG it, fact check, all the works, you know yourself. I think, honestly, though, people do want to know about you. And Laura actually hates talking about herself, but I want to know.
I'm nervous and all awkward. I'm not good at it.
No, but honestly, I feel like I can tell your story for you because it's the best success story. So I want to strip it back. I literally want to go back to basics. Like, tell me, left school, what'd you do? Tell me the works.
Okay. Left school, did not know what I wanted to do. Thought at one point I wanted to do occupational therapy, and then realised that I have no interest in anything to do with health or touching people.
Can we talk? Like you have that white coat syndrome. I
hate hospitals. I hate doctors. I have, honestly, I respect them all so much, but asked me to do any of that. And I was like, no. I realised what occupational therapy was. You know, when you're at school and somebody says occupational therapy sounds a wee bit fancy.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh, maybe yes, absolutely. Let's go for that.
No, literally, if you're sick in here and you're like, Laura, I'm not well. Oh my God, take medicine. You might have to go to hospital. Are you going to be okay? Like you freak out. I couldn't picture you in that environment.
Even having babies, I was like, the hospital was the biggest fear. So anyway, then realised what that was very quickly and said, no, that's not for me. Didn't get the grades anyway, I don't think. And then at the very last minute, I got accepted on to an urban planning and property development course.
This is my favourite fact about you ever. I literally jaw hit the floor. Tell me more.
I actually loved it. I ended up doing my master's in it and I absolutely loved it.
Wait, what does that involve though? Like, tell me.
So pretty much I did my work experience throughout with a property developer in Newry. So he was kind of retail property. Jared O'Hare owned the Keys back in the day. The Keys is still there to this day and owned lots of shopping centres throughout Europe as well. So I think I loved my work more so than the course, but actually the course turned out to be amazing and I've made the best friends as well. So
cute, love
actually those were the best days of my life, genuinely. So yeah, that's what my degree and master's was in.
As you're in the fashion industry now.
So it kind of was retail-y though. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Always worked within that kind of retail background, not necessarily completely clothes, but I was always surrounded by clothes and that is why I had no money because I was always surrounded by shopping centres, shopping, retail.
No money, but you always look good.
Absolutely. Look good in the office, you know, that kind of way.
So then where'd you go from that?
So then I was offered a role in Victoria Square as the operations manager. I, again, heard Victoria Square, thought fancy, yes, like that. Had never managed people in my life before, so you can imagine it's quite young. So really what an operations manager does is manage all the people in a shopping centre. So that was 60 staff. So picture me at 26, 27. All I was interested was in, imagine Victoria Square, working Victoria Square. I could just spend my money, top shelf, River Island.
I agree.
Zara was like 3-minute walk away. So I was like, yes, sign me up. But then I realised that I had to manage security guards, cleaners. Like these were hard workers, but they were also hardcore. Belfast City, inner city Belfast. So
you don't want to get in the wrong side of them.
That was the biggest learning curve, but also they were the nicest group and I loved every second of that job as well. So really, really tough. Like it was a very big learning curve. But
my favourite one though is that you had said you come into that role and obviously you wanted the respect from them too, but you needed to fully understand their jobs.
Oh yeah, I really did. Because
so what did you do?
So I the first week or so, I went and did a night shift with the security guards. And then I worked as the cleaner as well. So I just worked alongside them just to kind of understand, because even though I was involved in property and retail, and it was kind of more the management level, the property management more so than the hands-on. So I was like, I actually have been in all these centres, but I have no idea how they actually are managed. So how I landed that role, I have no idea. But I landed it anyway, and I actually went on to absolutely adore it. So that's kind of where the retail end of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Came
And then
through.
talk to me about, because the next stage was
So
walk-in wardrobe.
yeah, so the company I worked for as the ops manager was contract based. So then they asked me to go out and kind of sell the model that I had built in Victoria Square to other centres, or to maybe other, like the likes of bigger sites with hospitals, things like that. So it was kind of, they gave me a company car. I was on a really good wage. I'd never been on a higher salary, but I literally hated every second. It was tendering for like these big projects and tendering for putting people into big projects like hospitals, like airports. And I was like, this is not me, like behind a computer, laptop. And I hated it. So I wanted, like, I knew I always wanted to do my own thing in the background, but then I was kind of like, I'm quite young. I'm just going to enjoy.
Build experience nearly.
Exactly. Enjoy the ride. And then I was so upset, like literally one day, and the races were on. So Victoria Square used to run a big sponsor, the Down Royal races every year. So it was like the best excuse to get dressed up, get hats, like really gorgeous headpieces. And there was nowhere that did headpieces. So I used to bring the whole of Belfast to this wee tiny shop in Banbridge.
Which I can vouch that I actually know this shop, because my mum, when weddings were coming round, this is where we used to
It's
go.
like the best kept secret.
It was like the tiniest, teeniest little hidden gem, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I always kept saying to Mum, like, that shop could be so much more. Like, nobody knows about it. And then Mum was honestly probably sick of listening to me at this stage of hating my job. And she was like, why don't you just say, go in and ask that lady which would be interested in selling. Go for it. Go for it. I was like, what do you mean? Like, just go in and ask her. She was like, yeah, just go in. So, yep, just went in. And her name was Leontia at the time. And she was like, she said to me straight away, she was like, yes, you know what? I have done this for so many years. And she did a bit of bridal as well. And she was like, I want to enjoy my retirement. I am sick of carton wedding dresses, headpieces. And I was like, no, I'm not. Absolutely, I'm not.
But
So,
can we also say the hats came with the shop?
the hats came with the shop.
I honestly,
feathers
like,
were
I
part of
looked
it.
at these hats. What became beautiful hats became, please don't show me another hat. We had them for years, didn't we?
So yeah, then took over the hat shop, was a hat shop, and then literally straight away was like, okay, we need to get brands in here. So Mum and I obviously always loved shopping when we were abroad. So we were like, get us on a flight to Spain. So yeah, we just went hunting, went
Empty
to like,
suitcases, like just fill the suitcases.
it was kind of like went to a lot of the bigger trade shows in London and Madrid at the time. And like my mum always looks back now, she's like, Laura, we hadn't a flipping clue. But I think that helped though.
Totally.
So
So
that was the shop. That was a long one.
2014, isn't that right?
2014. Yes. So then really quickly was like, okay, I need to get customers through this shop now. So how can I do that? So I was like, okay, let's start like just going on Facebook, have a presence on social media, because I kind of knew I wanted to build something, but I needed people to come and spend their money in the shop. They needed to know about the shop. So that was my biggest thing, was how am I going to get this on the map? So started really quickly to just post like an outfit of the day every day on Facebook, and then it just kind of built from there in this tiny changing room. And kind of back at that stage, no one was kind of doing that.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we gained traction in the very early days, and then people would call the shop, make the payment, and that was 2014. And then 2017 we went online, so we got a Shopify site, and that's how it all built from there. What year did you join?
This is what I don't know, and I wish I knew this
Holly.
before we started this. But the only date that I know in my life is my birthday, and when Walk-in Wardrobe started. I'm not joking. I wasn't even here for it, but I feel like this is my 7th year.
7th year, so we are in 2025. So you were 2018. So the year after we went
Yes.
online. Did we have a Shopify site when you came on
Yes,
board?
we
Yes,
did.
okay, we did.
Yeah.
So then we had the tiny shop, and then above the tiny shop was one floor where we dispatched orders, and Kathy and me and Kathy really were the accounts team, as it was.
Yeah.
And then the shop, we just kind of outgrew the space
Yeah.
because the online orders were just more than we could keep up with. And then, do you remember the pub came up for sale then next door?
Oh no, honestly, this is my favorite part of this whole story. I wish I could say this. Go.
The pub came up for sale next door, and I was like, that space is perfect. We need to grow, and we loved Banbridge. So it kind of was like, this is meant to be. So bought the pub.
Go on.
And I was a landlady. Peggy Mitchell, move over. I was a landlady for all of, I feel like 8 months.
That's a long time.
That is a long time, yeah. Trading, pulling pints for that
No,
8
you
months as
weren't.
well, selling clothes. No, I wasn't.
I'd love to see you
Could
pull
you
a pint. Do you want a wee flake with it?
For goodness. An Aperol Spritz, maybe?
But you had to trade, like you had to have it.
I had to continue
Yeah.
to trade the license, because actually what happened then, I was able to sell the license, and then I was able to have a wee bit of money in my back pocket
Yeah.
to build and to renovate the shop. So
I
it
feel
actually
like,
all worked out.
Yeah, and I feel like the shop renovation happened quite quick.
Yeah.
Was it quick or was it not?
It actually was. Yeah, I think that was like, I think we moved into I got married in 2018. We moved into the shop in February. So within a year, year and a half, we had that whole new shop. So if you can imagine, we were in this tiny wee box, like a wee tiny shop on Rathfriland Street. And then we moved into 3 floors of
Yeah,
this
and it was beautiful.
2 floors of retail. And then the top floor was dispatch. Again, like we thought at the time, this is going to be too big. And then we've then realised, okay, we need to.
Totally. Because I remember actually doing the makeups for the opening night of the shop, but it was like your offices and everything as well, and then
Yeah.
sort of like a storeroom, and it was really lovely. But I remember thinking, this is crazy that a wee shop in Banbridge can have all of this. And then boom.
Boom, COVID.
I don't
Boom.
even think, honestly, that's like a bad word that we shouldn't say, but
No, honestly. You know what? People look back and say, oh, COVID were the best days of my life. I will never have days like COVID. I look back on them now and think, I'm like, what?
it was just
They
a
were
blur.
horrific.
Yeah.
I had just had a baby. I had my first. Charlie came in late December 2019. And then, like, literally,
I know.
COVID hit when? End of January? End of January
Yeah, well, you
2020.
went early
So
with it, to be fair now.
Charlie was like less than really only a month old, and I was breastfeeding. He was also dairy intolerant, so he did not sleep, the wee pet. And then it was like, what the hell? The world is shutting down.
No, Laura came in to tell us all that this like Chinese flu was coming, and I remember saying to Kathy, she's got the baby blues, there's something wrong, like she's losing her mind. She's actually losing her mind. I come home and said to my dad and all, Laura's talking about closing the shop, and he's like, what? Oh, she's just had a baby, maybe she's just, I'm like, yeah, no. But honestly, it happened so quick, and then we were back in so quick, but then we weren't, and it was like, what is happening? But look at where we are now.
Genuinely, I felt like that make or break. Like, it was like, if COVID did not break me, I don't think much can now.
Yeah, because you couldn't even have your dairy milk buttons during it all either.
That's right. I was like, oh, and I can't drink dairy and I can't eat chocolate.
If Laura used to be having, like, if she was getting stressy, you would just slide over the dairy milk buttons and wee sugar fix should be okay. But sure.
And then I also went through this crazy time of COVID, like Charlie in bed, feeding him. At night, I would watch like the 9 o'clock news on BBC, and then I would go to the 10 o'clock on RT. No, that 9 o'clock on RT, I knew it, and then the 10 o'clock on BBC, because like I was like,
Yeah.
what is happening with this world? I needed
Yeah.
to know, until my husband was like, Laura,
I know.
no more news, turn it off. It's not good.
Yeah. On the other foot, though, like, that was your side of it, whereas mine was working from home on the
Drinking
laptop.
wine.
I was just about to say lunchtime hit, and it was 12:10, and I was like, I can have a wine because no boss is here to tell me off. And Laura's like, are you logged on, Holly? I'm like, yes, I'm here. What can I do? But in fairness, but that was because you had people relying on you. Like, you had
That's
all
what
of
I
our
always
staff.
said. I was like, I cannot not keep this going. So I
know.
had no choice. So those days were filled with, my memories were filled with sneaking to Banbridge through the police, you know, like, where are you going? Going to
Can
do
you
my
say
groceries?
this out loud? Because honestly,
My groceries consisted of a boot full of new arrivals that I had to take home to film in my makeshift wardrobe
I know.
slash studio.
that actually gives me
also
the fear.
cot was in.
Yeah,
So
honestly.
it was like,
And then we had moved into the building beside. We took like the big old bank building just for a short time while we were figuring out what we would do next. And poor Charlie, I'm not joking, I actually take honour in saying that I feel like I was part of him being reared as a child,
I feel like
because
he was mothered by the whole walk-in wardrobe thing.
at one stage even Dave was walking around with Charlie in his arm. I was like, is this okay? But it worked. We done it. We got through it.
And because he
No,
was
no
so,
worries.
his wee tummy was always so upset until we got it. Like, he had to, like, he loved being like moved
Held.
a lot, and like shook, and I was
Yeah.
always like, just keep walking, just keep walking.
Preferably walk out that way so you don't bring him to me because I have stuff to fill him.
But yes, while COVID was hard, like it was
Yeah.
the best thing that ever happened. Walk-in wardrobe allowed us to grow. We built so many new, like the new audience was incredible that joined us.
But I
through COVID.
actually think a big part of that is because the whole structure of walk-in wardrobe changed, the buy-in changed, the products changed, and actually the whole business model really changed, didn't it?
we just had to pivot. We had no choice. So walk-in wardrobe at the beginning was like, in those early days was quite like occasionally and beautiful weddings, gorgeous occasion wear, think hats, headpieces. And then obviously the world shut down. No one was going anywhere. So we were like, we need casual clothes quickly.
And I hope I'm okay to touch on this, but I think it's worth saying that whenever we did have to close the doors at the start and we didn't know what was going to happen, Laura actually ended that day by saying, should I have to sell nurses' scrubs? There will be a business. And I remember thinking, that's okay. We actually are okay, even though everyone was
trusted
crying.
me,
I did
Ollie.
trust you. I really did. I was like, this woman has not been put down before. It's not going to happen. But then the doors closed and we had these, I will never forget it, like 400, 500, £600 dresses that we were left with because no one was going anywhere. Those bills had to be paid, and that stock just had to go nearly for less than cost price in the end, which I think is why you have such a fear when it comes to the occasion wear side of it now.
It still lingers with me. I'm like,
Yeah. That's like the stuff that people don't talk about with the business that I would never have understood, only seeing a small part of it. But that stock was just
exactly, because
left
we
there.
had this. So like in those days, you had to like buy a season ahead. So all that stock had just landed in January for spring summer 2020.
Yeah.
And then we had just paid for all that stock. So that was all the money tied up in that stock for our whole entire season, not sold. And then we had to start to look for new suppliers and purchase. Yeah, so
It was really hectic. And I think from the staff's point of view, which I don't know anybody's ever said to you, but we were used to the really fancy, beautiful occasion wear, and then we switched to casual wear, but we had to try a few brands before we found the right brands. And I do think it's worth saying that I remember coming into work with my fake shopping list, because the place did stop me and I was a wee bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. And I come in shaking
Holly
like a
was
leaf.
nervous, Jervis.
It was awful. And I was like, Laura, the place just stopped me, and I had to lie and tell them I was getting
Tell them
bread
you're
and
doing your shopping.
Laura
Have
was
a
like,
list.
You're here now. You're fine. Come on. I was like, I don't want to go home. Anyway, and whenever we came in, the shop was the first floor had been totally, there was desks and all like separated, because at this stage COVID was still a vibe, to then being like these massive boxes. And in fairness, it did take a couple of attempts before we found the right ones, because the first few we opened up, I remember your face one day being like, we can't sell this. We can't sell it. And it was Kathy that had to be like, but Laura, this is not what we're used to. Like, we're used to the £600 dress. Now, the stuff, like, there's lots we didn't sell because it was like, it's not worth it. But again, that's money.
Plus we had
That
to
was
purchase.
just
Remember,
money.
we had to like, it was like shopping online in mass.
Yeah.
So we had to like shop online during COVID for our followers. So we were kind of like, it was crazy.
And then we went from maybe filming once a week for 2 weeks worth to being like, Laura being like, no, we need to film every day. I was like, are you crazy? Every day? How are you going to do that? But it actually was like marathon days of filming enough content, because then we realised that the drive was there for people. They did want casual wear. They wanted to get dressed up to go do their shopping. But that was
crazy.
like, it turned into this beast.
I feel like
didn't
people
it?
just wanted to spend their money. So like every day it was like, what is new? I need to spend money.
I know. We were the same though.
Oh,
we were the
100%.
best dressed secret workers ever, because we were like everything new. My makeup was done perfect. My hair was perfect.
Do you remember the day I came in and the sunglasses episode?
That come up on my phone recently, and I feel like if I can find the video, can we please put it into this as a snippet? Laura, literally, I'm not going to lie, had lost her mind for a lot of it because there was so much pressure. New baby, the works. And Laura came in one day and we were like, are you okay? And she goes, literally so many people have looked at me like this on the way in. And I'm like, what do you
I
mean on
had
the way
no
in?
clue.
She had stopped to get fuel or something too.
Yeah.
And we were like, so me and Kathy gone wetting ourselves. And Laura was like, why is everybody laughing at me today? Like, what is wrong? And Laura came in, boxes upon boxes, bags on each shoulder,
need to share the
clothes
photo.
hanging over, with sunglasses on and only one lens in the sunglasses.
And I got fuel. I flipping stopped and got fuel like a complete numpty.
That's
And
just how
nobody told me. I was like, Jesus, could nobody say?
Laura, I mean, you
my God,
probably
that
had
was
a
us
dark
gone.
eye, and then you probably had the real world. So I'm
And
not
there's
sure
a
how you
photo
didn't
of it, and
notice
I'm wearing a stripy candy stripe pink
with a
skirt.
white
Remember
vest.
a
I'll
white
never
vest?
forget it. I know. It's funny because stuff comes up now and we see clothes and we're like, oh, do you remember that was COVID? Oh, can't look at that outfit. Or do you remember that tracksuit? But it worked. It really worked.
So that was COVID. So then we moved to the bank. Finally, so we were dispatching orders from 3 floors of the bank with no lift and also 3 floors of our shop next door. So it was crazy. And then, do you remember we were like, we cannot take this bank anymore. We need a warehouse. So moved to the warehouse. That's where we are now today.
And we have, like, the staff have definitely grown with that. The team has got so much bigger, but like a big shout out to the staff that we had at the time, because it was working in a bank building with 3 floors with no system. So we just kept getting these cages and cubes, and it went from, do you know where the blue shirt is that we had? Yeah, I think it's down in the bottom floor, and I think it's in the 5th row over, and then you
In
just
the
couldn't
safe.
find it. Do you know what I mean?
Remember
And
the
then,
big safes as well? We used to store boxes everywhere.
and this is so bad, but even whenever we came to moving out and Dave had developed a stock system and we finally were able to scan products and everything, and then we were moving out of the bank being like, oh, remember we had that delivery we paid for that we couldn't find? We've just found the 2 boxes unopened
crazy.
because it was like stuff on top of stuff. I know.
That's crazy.
Actually, when you think back, you would definitely sack us all for that now.
The amount of deliveries as well, the amount of clothes we tried on during those days was like crazy. So any wonder we developed Love Laura, like, because we honestly knew what we liked and knew what we didn't like by the end of it.
Continuously, that was the statement that we always said, if we done our own, if we done our own, which probably will lead us on now to those who have no idea what Love Laura XO is. Let's go for it.
So Love Laura is our own brand. So for 10 years we sold ready to wear collections. So we were at the mercy of suppliers in terms of their designs, what those looks, what those colours were, what those fits were. And don't get me wrong, so much of it was beautiful, but like 9 times out of 10, we would always say, like, I wish they had put a bit of elastic in that trouser. I wish they had placed the buttons not so low down, not so high up. I wish they had put a sleeve. Like, I wish they had a thought that women have tummies. I wish they had a thought, like, if you had a bust. So we were always trying to change, but we never could. And the sizing as well. We were at the mercy of... like, you know, if they told us an 8 was an 8, it probably was more like flipping 4 or a 6.
Yeah, it was wild.
A lot of the times. So we always were like, kept coming back to, we need to do our own thing. So finally, last year we launched our own collection, which is called Love Laura, because it is from us with love.
The Love Laura actually for me sticks out because whenever I started walk-in wardrobe and then moved into the social media side of it, that every post was signed off with Love Laura XO. So it kind of became a given that that was what it was going to be, because Laura always had to have her own touch on things. So no matter how much was pre-filmed, no matter how much was pre-done, until somebody got trained up in that area, it was Laura signing it off. It was Laura checking it over. It was Laura making sure it was okay. So it was always Love Laura XO. So it was a given that we had to call the brand, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the collections are definitely checked off now. We're like meticulous.
Honestly, it is. It's also been a labour of love. It probably happened a wee bit quicker than we thought it might have happened for the actual launching of it, because in true walk-in wardrobe style, it may seem polished, it may seem very planned, but we do wing a lot of it. Like, we act when we need to act, we act fast.
I think that's just business though. You have to do what you got to do. So, and like last year definitely were the lessons. We learned a lot of lessons for Love Laura last year in terms of demand. We had a lot more demand than we had supply. So we were like, okay, we need to work incredibly hard for this year to get the collections off the ground in terms of timings, in terms of launches, and in terms of like just the fit checks. Like, we were like thinking, you know, 3 months was time, but now we have learned, like, no, 3 months is not time. It's like looking like 6 months to 9 months
up
now.
until recently, it's us waiting for the lorry to come in with the delivery, standing ready to get dressed, like into the clothes as soon as they come in. Love Laura again was very much so based, because with a business, and all businesses, especially clothing businesses, definitely feel it, but returns are a huge one, and people were returning because sizes weren't right. Exactly. But we couldn't do anything about that. We couldn't do anything about the fit of it. We couldn't do anything about the zips being faulty. It was like, what is happening? Which also led on to, we just need to make our own. They're all test worn, you would say. We have
absolutely
on everything.
And I think Love Laura as well is based, it's for real women. It's designed by women. So many collections out there. We don't know who the designers are. We don't know any background behind why these items were designed. So a lot of the time, Love Laura, you will see, it's like, it's not super trend led. It's always about what flatters, what is the right fit. does it flatter a size 18 as well as a size 16?
Yeah.
And like we are like ridiculously hard on ourselves when it comes to that in terms of the fit checks. Like literally we must get a size
Yeah.
range in every single sample, and the fit checks can be long and lengthy in here.
Big time.
But I think that is what is absolutely worth it.
Definitely worth it, and also maybe worth shouting out now that if anybody would like to be involved in that, because we only go up to
Absolutely.
a size 14, sometimes a 16 in here. We definitely want the 18s, we definitely want the 20s, because we're basing it on ourselves, but we want to see it in everybody. We're slowly starting to build that wee community we have, but it's always worth saying if you would love to be involved in it, please just let us know.
Please let us know if you're like any size really, like,
Yeah.
but especially particularly like size 16 and 18, we would absolutely love, because actually they are the sizes that go the quickest.
100%.
But we have where you, our customers are purchasing, but we would love to show you off to our followers as well.
And this has also been the biggest, most asked question on people's lips, but it is petite. Are we going to do petite? Because we are all in and around the same height in here, bar maybe Ursula would probably be the tallest. And then between you, myself and Charlene, there's really only an inch or so in it. So petite has been a big question, and it has been a big learning curve for us with Love Laura, because what has that not been like?
I think petite, like a lot of, I think as well, sometimes the expectation with petite is, so it's just doing a shorter size and a trouser. But actually for us as a team, that's incredibly difficult, because we have to get the length right, number one, but then we have to match that quantity in
Hundreds
the original.
and hundreds.
This
Like,
is
it's
not, you're
like
not
it's-
talking like 30 of a piece, 100 of a piece, you're talking hundreds
Yeah.
of. So sometimes when we want to do that, that can be very, very hard, especially if we want to do, say we launch a pair of jeans, but we know, okay, these are a great shape, we want to launch them in colours. So if we are doing 4 colours in one particular type of denim, then that's like 8, because 8 styles. So, that's 8 times, 500 pieces. It's just, it gets extremely difficult to manage that.
And that
as well.
definitely blew our mind as well. The first time we heard that, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, because
And
we would just
then-
saying to our suppliers, just, give us, split it and do. And they're like, no, it doesn't work like that. It really does. And so as well as that, like, learning curve has been huge on that.
Oh, totally. And then because you have such a long leg length, like really long, and then I'm 5'5.5", but I would be fairly regular. But even what you would wear with flats, I usually have to wear with a heel.
Yes.
So we were trying to base that on take off 10 centimeters, take off 8, take off 12. But then we didn't know. So we're ringing back home. We were maybe in Italy. We're ringing back to say, get somebody to try it on who's petite. So there's definitely lots has went with it. But hopefully it will pay off for us here. This is the
Absolutely.
first
And as we
dabble.
grow the collection, this is something we absolutely want to do. But I suppose by way of explanation, rather than ignoring that whole petite element, it's not that we are ignoring it. Absolutely not. We want to serve you, but also just let us grow the business slightly more. Let us do the learnings, and then let us introduce those petite links when we're able to grow. And then maybe we'll be able to just dictate as well a wee bit more to our suppliers in terms of when they get to know us, in terms of order quantities. So
There's so much that we could talk about with Love Laura, to be fair. Like, we could go on for a
I
long
feel like
time.
we need to involve the listeners now. We need to get some listeners'
Definitely.
questions.
We need to do listeners' questions. I'm going to go on to a wee quickfire one too, but I feel like it would be a sin if we did not give the listeners a little sneak of what might be launching soon. Obviously, we're wearing our amazing lace dresses, but
Yes.
what's our next launch? Do you want to say? Although sometimes Laura goes off on one and tells everything, so just give me one part of a collection, perhaps.
I'm going to say denim, and then in the next episode, we can get into the next launch.
Fair. Okay, and we could maybe in the next episode touch on what hasn't worked so far for Love Laura. If there's
Yes,
been
let's
any-
get some real behind the scenes next
Oh my
week.
goodness, bring the tissues, because some of it maybe broke Laura's heart, honestly.
Broke me in general.
So I have this wee thing in my head that I want to do, and
Okay.
I'm
This will
definitely
be
going to
good.
catch you off guard. But let's go for love or leave. Okay.
Okay, I like
so if
that.
you love it or you would leave it.
Now, can I tell you that Holly has not practiced any of this with me? So
Can I
bear
also
with-
tell you I could just be pulling it out of my head right now?
I probably are. Okay, let's go.
Right, my first
So
one.
love or leave. I have to say love or leave.
You have to love
Okay.
or leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they're probably going to be very based to you, but that's fine. This one you're probably not going to have a clue. La Boo Boos.
Louboutins.
Your dream, to be fair. But no. Have you heard of La Boo Boos?
No.
Right, well, Louis Vuitton have just brought out a La Boo Boo, and I am gagging to see the price.
Oh, Louis Vuitton Labout. Right.
Yeah, so a La Boo Boo looks I'm not going to lie, I'm not really for it, everybody. But if you see it in my handbag next week, it's because I want to follow a trend. But they're like a wee mini teddy / doll.
Oh,
thing
those things, the trolls, the evil trolls.
Yes,
what are they? Is that what they're called?
a Labubu.
Oh no.
And Laura, can I tell you, some
Not
of them
here
are
for
going
this
for
life.
about £100.
No, thank you.
So
Leave.
thought you might say that. Just thought I would ask the question. Lamination, brows.
That's a tough one because I love, but this time I got my brows done this week and I had to leave because I felt like I got lamination twice before that in quick succession, and I feel like it kind of damaged my brows, so went for HD. So love, but then you gotta leave in between. So
Love this.
love it, but leave it in between. Don't damage your brows. Like if you get lamination, get HD the next time, then get lamination.
Okay, fair.
That's my advice.
I like that. Okay. Netflix I'm going to go to next because there has been a couple of really good series, right? And we were loving Kin. Remember we watched that documentary?
Leave. Too gruesome for me. No, I could not.
Too gruesome.
Too evil. Awful. Like just no, I like only
Laura.
happy things. Only
Well,
I
was
have
gonna-
enough.
I was going to tell you about one that we watched called This City Is Ours, but you'll definitely probably say leave that. Have you watched it?
No.
So good. Shalane
No,
was telling us.
Ashley did tell me about one. We are liars. We were
Oh, we've
liars.
heard this all week, yeah.
And I have started the first episode, and yeah, it is a bit of me.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
it's in the Hamptons. It's beautiful people.
Is it your dream
beautiful
life?
houses? No, not even. That's my escapism. Like
Fair.
people shitting drugs. Oh, like that's just sad. It's horrible. And also when you have children, that plays on you. My husband and I literally talked about this with Ken. It was too hard to watch. Like lives were nothing to those people, or are nothing to those people. I just no. So Hamptons.
Aw.
Beautiful people, beautiful interiors, beaches. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Okay. Right, the next one's an obvious one. Matcha.
Yeah, love.
You do, don't you?
And
Go.
my latest love,
Go.
Blend and Batch. Do this Blend and Batch, which is our local coffee shop. One of our gorgeous local
we've
coffee
good
shops
for you.
in Banbridge. I have to keep this PC. Is they do this incredible summer matcha. So it's at the bottom, it's fresh mango with a little bit of syrup, all like muddled up, and then coconut milk, and then topped up with matcha. Like if you're not a matcha girl to start, I'm a hardcore matcha. Like I love warm, I love any type of matcha, but my word, you need to try.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. Next one's then, just going to give you a few more. Adidas.
Okay. Love.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry.
like how can you not?
Obsessed. Flared jeans.
Love.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say love. I feel like flare jeans are underrated because when you think about a flare actually really balances you out.
That too.
Now, it means that you have to wear a heel. I'm not really a big fan of flares with flats. I like a heel, but I also think a flare, if you're hippie or have bigger thighs, a flare is the one.
Yeah.
Gives
Okay.
you like totally balances the whole proportion.
When I say flared jeans now, though, who do you think of right away?
Victoria Beckham.
Yes, she remember that white shirt, flared jeans.
Not that she needs any kind of help in the proportion department, but like it is amazing.
Amazing.
Like simple
Amazing.
white shirt. Yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm there for the flare jeans life. Yeah.
Ibiza.
Love. Like what? Yes, that it's like love. Love Ibiza. These are my dreams. Like literally,
know.
I spend my evenings, like my escapism is a holiday planning. Like I'm not going anywhere, maybe possibly, but like, you know, checking out. Like if I was going for 4 days to Ibiza, what would I do? What restaurants would I go to for lunch? Where would I go in
Laura,
the
do
evening?
not even sit there
Where
and
would
lie
I go
that
for
you
my
don't.
matcha?
Yeah,
in the
you
morning?
follow through with all these plans. Laura books a holiday and comes home like a demon, and then we're like, she's in good form. Did you book a holiday? She's like, yeah. I'm just gonna go for a wee 3 nights. Or the best one yet, I have to go do content when I'm away. I'm like, no,
That's
you
my
don't.
excuse. Holly, the accountant could be listening here. Stop now. See,
That's why I need to go in the suitcase to take the content.
We have to go to locations to shoot
Fair.
content. Yes,
Who's hearing this, everybody?
fair enough. Yes.
I think we'll probably have to call that a wrap because we could talk all day. But for episode 1,
could. Oh, I hope you love it.
So
Will you
do I.
please, if you loved it, if you even liked it, will you please leave us a wee comment? And across any of the like Spotify, whatever you're listening on, YouTube. Apple, I'm not good at this. I need to practice my lingo for the podcast life. But please, we would so appreciate a wee comment and let us know what we can include, what not to include. If we're rambling on too much, any questions, anything you want from us. But we want to build this. Like, we want to take it where you want to see it go as well. So we're just going to see where it takes us.
Maybe bring some guests on board. Like, stay tuned. However, I have a question. Can we change the coffee to bubbles?
Absolutely. We need to do an evening podcast.
Maybe we don't. Who knows?
Oh, this is amazing.
So good.
That was so good.
Is that
Thanks
a
for
wrap?
listening.